Hi guys, Troublmaker here, playing Cities in Motion 2. Wait a minute, no, this is City Skylines, actually. This is a new-ish, I guess it's been out for almost a month now. It's a game. It's a game developed by communists. Sorry, Europeans. And it's all about building cities. And as you can see, I built, some nice little subdivisions here and there. My current plan for the day will be to destroy Steel Central, destroy Copper Town, and transpose both of them over into Miner's Dement. One thing that I have discovered is that if you go to the Natural Resources tab, it actually highlights areas that are suitable for what types of industry. And as you can see, this whole zone here is actually quite suitable. Well, not the whole one, but I'd say a little over 50% of it is suitable for mining operations, with also some logging being useful here. So I'll be doing that. I'll be doing mining, basically. And I'll be building up a new industrial zone here, and then I will be happily destroying Coppertown and Steel Central and transforming them into little mini niche residential zones. Because as you can see, my demand for residential properties is quite high. Lots of people want to move to this fabulous city. Why not? It's got the statue of Mother Effin' Liberty. And I try not to swear, because, I hate swearing. But, whoa, that was a crazy zoom in. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty. What does it say on the Statue of Liberty's book here? What does it say? It's got a stick figure. No, it says July 4th. God damn you, French. M is 1,000. 1970. No, 1746? I guess. I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm gonna quickly build up a little zone just to the south here. To the south here. And put it right under the underpass and start building some roads in. I'm gonna try and use only expensive roads from now on, just because there is a perk, there is a benefit to using these expensive roads. They will reduce noise pollution, not pollutant, pollution, which is great, and they will also increase land value, which it further incentivizes people to join your area. And one of the brilliant parts of my play to rezone at least one of my industrial areas is that it will allow for another train here, which can be serviced by which can be used to service local industry. So I need to get some homes, make this into commercial properties, commercial real estate, maybe one or two down here as well. And there we go. Decent number of homes developed for now while I work on my other project. And my other project is going to be over here. It's going to be the Miner's Dement. So I need to make this into a really, really, really freaking good place to merge into. So I have these on and off ramps here, and I'll be making use of them. I'll be modifying them to better work for my community. So for now, yes, very nice. Supporting the oil industry was right. Industrial bloom, blah, 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 blah. It's a temporary road, very long temporary road. So I'll make highway ramps. Now, this is going to be my inroad. Just gotta get it in there. Space already occupied, space already occupied. Ugh. I can make them all quite large, really. People are already driving off the road, so why should I care? And I'm building an inroad because I believe that people will eventually be sending a lot of traffic this way. Industrial traffic, which is our heavy traffic. And oh, look at this. I can't actually plant a post in between these two roads. So I'm going to have to rebuild this highway a little bit. So I'm going to do one part here. And we're just going to make it a little bit wider so we can get things across here. Oops. That was... I was... thought I had the bendy tool on for a second. Oh god, that was a... I'm an idiot. Why didn't I just click on this thing? Okay, back to where we were, I guess. So this is going to... slope too steep. Can we bring it up a little bit? Why does it say slope to... oh, for... so I have to join here, probably? Yeah. Barely get across here. There. And... I need a straight piece. See if I can... just barely can slide that in. Okay. And now, where it's going to get a little bit wonky, I'm going to turn this piece into a one-way, and I'm going to build a train here. So, let's get our one-way going all the way. Should probably be using cheaper roads because this is going to be a pretty darned... a little bit closer too. It's going to be a pretty busy area because this is going to be a big industrial area. So we'll have that, and I can probably fit 2 trains here, which I will do. So not that one, this one. So I'll put one on the very far end where I can, you know, grab the traffic, and then we'll have one servicing like right here. Let's grab the other bit of traffic. Oops, I didn't actually link them in. And they don't have water and they don't have electricity. And I'm starting with the trains because that's something that's some infrastructure that I can immediately make use of. And immediately use. So trains coming northbound will dock in here. Trains coming across here will dock in here. That's in my head how the perfect plan will work, but that's not to say that it will work that way. That's just saying how I hope it works. Okay. And I don't know how invaluable or unvaluable this will be, but let's put all the industry there for now. I need electricity across. So I'll grab it from our poopy places, our drains, and run it across. And we'll see how they expand into here. So I'm going to have to build a bit of an overpass as well. That'll go... so here's how... this is the easiest way to do overpasses, by the way. Hit page up here and build the piece across. Okay, so I've successfully got it across. Easy says easy, and then you do your connection afterwards. That way you don't have to kind of fiddle around with things. That's the absolute easiest way to do it. And it also makes it look nicer, much nicer looking. I mean, this is a really slick looking little road here compared to like, you know, so that was pretty well built by the developers of the game. What's something that I built on the spot? Have I built an overpass yet? I don't think I actually have built any overpasses. Something I might have to do, or at least consider, because this is going to be a very large industrial area. This is not something I'll be developing just yet. I might turn this into forestry, actually. Use this as mining, this into forestry, and then I can get rid of the lumber yard, potentially as well, which wouldn't be too bad, turning that into a residential neighborhood. Small one. But that's all kind of to service this area here. Anyway, I have to build my out road. So our in road will have a one-way leading to the train network, and I have to make it go all the way around. So I'm going to keep it one way all the way down here. Keep in mind, I still have more potential train connections here, so if I do in fact need to continue doing this, then I'll be fine with that. And once I get down there, I'm going to transform this into a regular road. That's terrifying. I thought my game froze for a second there. And our out roads. So over here we have something very simple. I've just used the traffic, the existing traffic infrastructure to get in. One thing I haven't done though is actually made a way for us to get in through here, these main roads here. So I'm going to build that real quick. This shouldn't be crazily as high of traffic as my existing infrastructure, so I'm not going to invest too much into it. Geez, I really wish I could make it link up this a little bit better, but it looks like it won't work. Oh well. And the southern batch. So I'm linking up. I'm transforming this into what will end up being 4 different ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going into one place. And then over here, let's get the bendy road. Oh, bendy road. Let's see if we can get Lincoln. Okay. I think I have to upgrade this one. Nope, won't let me, will it? That one will upgrade though, so that's fine. That'll merge them a little bit better. Oh. Aha, there we go. This will, that way the two will merge flowing freely. So when you're doing roads, you want, if you have 2 one-lane roads going into one lane road, then you're going to have a problem where traffic's going to be going back and forth. But if you have 2 roads going into one, then this one will go straight through here, and this guy will go across here. Now this extra lane, well, it's honestly a little bit redundant, actually. Now, downside is that when it comes to this point, then you'll have that kind of like, 2 traffics coming together kind of thing, but not too big of a deal. So now we need a way out. Now we have 4 ways in. We'll need at least 1 way out before anyone decides to use this thing. So we're going to assume that our out traffic is going to be pretty big. So I'm going to use pretty decently sized highway pieces here. And away we go. You know what I kind of want to do? I kind of want to have a very large merging lane here. Kind of. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Right there. And then what I'll do is like right around here. What if I can go straight across with this? Okay, space already occupied. So I have to kind of widen these roads a little bit too. There we go. So what I want to do is have it go basically right across here. But I do need it to upslope a little bit. And across here. And at this point I'm going to use the Kirby tool. Geez, it will only go straight across, okay? That's fine. And use the straight tool again, I guess. There we go. That should merge in pretty fine. And yeah, this is going to be the basic look. And then I can put another neighborhood here. I might make this to the forestry industry and just have, I might amalgamate my 2 iron industries. Well, not iron, but mineral industries here at Miner Cement. And then I might make, I might move my lumber yard over to here and make a bigger lumber area, and then turn this into a residential zone. So I'll have, you know, a decent number of residential zones in this area. The downside is that, you know, the amount of area that I can have for support for, in the way of incinerators will be down just a little bit. Either that or I'll be developing on incinerators, which is not all that desirable. So let's make this all industrial. And once we get down to here, this is where the fun begins. Not fun, not like that. Be building a road across here. Do I want it to connect, or do I want traffic to go all the way around? That is to say, do I want a shortcut, or do I want them to... No, I'm not going to connect this road. Not happening. I don't currently see the benefit to connecting that road. So I won't. And now with that, I'm going to build the teeth pattern. Hopefully this doesn't come back to haunt me too badly. And down. I always feel like I'm making some sort of mining thing every time I see, or farming thing every time I see this orange color. Okay, so this one won't be quite as perfect as the other side. Hoping to scrape in some extra roads there, but snap is on, and that's potentially the way it will stay. Yeah, not quite as perfect looking as the other side, which looks absolutely perfect. And this will be a giant industrial zone. I don't know how long it'll take for this thing to fill up. I suspect a decent amount of time. And I'm going to do the exact same pattern on the south here, so I'll have, you know, a lot of roads designed around the concept of feeding. And I'm using these 2-lane roads because when we go to the middle area here, we don't have any, you know, real congestion problems here. We have a nice stop signs here, or sorry, stop lights here, so people can funnel through all directions appropriately. Close enough. Yikes, I destroyed a little bit there. Not a lot. So now we're going to see, you know, basically the plan here is to have mines up north here where all the trains are, and then industries down here to use those resources in the south. And with the trains there, we should have absolutely no problem with importing goods, which is, I would say the biggest end game problem is that everyone looks at trains as like, you know, being for passengers versus cargo, and I see them as being for cargo, for supporting your commercial zones, for supporting your industries, basically almost all business except for offices. A lot of people develop places that are basically like all offices, because if you build all offices, you get a cheat, kind of. It makes it so that you don't actually have to deal with traffic, because apparently offices don't have high traffics compared to industry, which have the heavy trucks. So if you build all offices, you don't have to deal with industry. But I don't think that's fun. Why would you want to build a city that has no industry? Like, you know, kind of like a New York City post-steel industry. I'm pretty sure they had a steel industry there at some point. Oh, just about all Atlantic towns have that. So there's Miner's Dement. Very simple pattern, not so perfect looking, but from the sky, it's not as bad as it should be. So yeah, I think I'm going to put forestry here, so going over to here. the clear zone tool. We'll be turning this other piece of highway here into its own zone. There we go. So we will build a nice new zone that will border Miners Dement. And I'll be naming it after a semi-famous Canadian program that happened in the 90s. If you mailed YTV, youth television, you could become an official woodchucker. And I'm just going to call it woodchuckers. That's it. The woodchuckers. Your hat is on. Something left and locked. Alright. That was cool at the time. Wearing your hat all funny. And that'll have a very, I think, good effect on a lot of things. It's also going to dilute this traffic a little bit because a lot of it's going towards the seaport, which is in the lumber yard. And with that gone, we'll see a lot less traffic heading that way and going to other places. So, now we have to D-zone Coppertown. This is the scary part. I really don't like doing this, but... Okay, boys, here we go. D-zone. Goodbye, Coppertown. I miss you. And as for Steel Central... Goodbye, Steel Central. Scary fact here, I have a nuclear power plant here. So I have to kind of quickly connect this into our grid so that I don't lose power to most of my city, because that thing generates retarded amounts of megawatts of power. Okay, so Coppertown is slowly resettling. Hopefully they move over to Miners Dement. This is a new area that we at the administration have developed just for you people. Yes. I'm going to run another electrical wire over here just as a startup. I'm sure eventually I can destroy this, but that will be another one, so it's running across this way. Or maybe I can even destroy this one eventually, I don't know, but it's going to electrify a little bit of this area so that they can, in fact, develop it. And, yeah, these are the kind of terrors that you have when you de-zone places. So because I de-zoned that, I've lost power onto this side, so quick move here. I'll fix the Reno. Still hasn't had a massive effect on my tax revenues, only still making 10,000 despite depowering a part of the city. Oh, this isn't powered either, actually. Okay. There we go. Now it's all powered up. Powered up! Yay, everyone gets power again. Yay. Okay, so, there are still some services here. Just gotta figure out which ones are staying and which ones are going. So that's not a service. That is a service that can stay. Bus depot. Yikes. That one can get moved over to our incinerators. These are just businesses. Fire station, that can stay. Incineration plant, that's gotta go. Can't have that there anymore. And, geez, look how much traffic still kind of going through here. I guess everyone's just trying to get their trucks in place before they head on out into what will become my new paradise. Hopefully, paradise on Earth. These two train yards here, I really want to make this work. Especially with woodchuckers down here. Now, that's all taken care of. Over here, what else do we have left over? Just a few, oh, the metro station, that's kind of a deal. It's not a big deal, it's just a deal. Okay, so I can transform this into the shopping zone for this place. And that way I won't have to remove our incinerators here. Downside, low value of homes and whatnot. Or, you know, locations. This place I'll be making into a lot of this into industrial or commercial. Just because of proximity to the trains. Then I'm going to be having some residential as well. So it'll just represent a brand new area that people can put up new businesses. And given the trains that are here, they'll be well supplied. They'll never run out of resources. And it's also got highway access, so they will be able to, eventually move around. What's this? These are incineration plants. Jeez. If I put them north here by the trains, they'll be out of the way of the residential areas, so they won't be as stanky as they would be. I have to remodel this, of course. We're going to need to put in things to actually bring up the land value. It's too big for my area here. And a lot of these won't have power until people begin moving in. I need health services here, so big hospital. Yeah, plant that right there. I got fire services here. Yes, I do. And police. I need police. Da popo. And this is looking good. I might even be able to build kind of a bridge to get kind of a riverfront for people if they so desire. I mean, these trains are great, by the way. Look at the number of commercial vehicles that come into here. It's not just industrial. Commercial works as well. There's 1, 2 industrial trucks here, and the rest just commercial that are freely kind of going around and distributing to their place, which further increases my tax income. The population is actually shrinking, surprisingly. That shouldn't actually last, though. That should fall apart. So next up, the lumberyard, which will, make this into a nice residential neighborhood. Put lots of commercial zones in here, and it will also mean, unfortunately, moving this. This is one area I'll have to move. Our solar plant. It does actually generate sound. Yeah, solar plants generate sound. How wonky is that? Not much, 25 total, but still, it's something. It's something to consider. So now, the Woodchucker's Haven. So I built my access road right here. So I'm going to build that one. Is this a 2 or a 3? That is a 3 road. Okay. Build this cross. Now it looks like I'll have ship access here, so I can build a port here as well, which is cool. So let's go to our transportation guys and our cargo harbor. And in a similar situation to over here, I'm going to make it kind of spin around a bit. So I'm going to do a one-way that'll lead into it that will inevitably reach. So I'm just going to get water all over up in this area. The pipes are actually, when you look at the end of them, they actually kind of spin in a circle. See, they have a valve here that will spin them around. So you don't actually have to connect them. It's just that there is a sound when you do connect them that gives you positive incentive to do so. Right. What was I doing? I was going to make a one-way road to link into our harbor. And then have that one way go all the way around, spinning in back to over here. And I destroyed a power line. This is the problem with construction, okay? Seriously, the number of power lines that people hit in underground construction is actually a little bit insane. Now, let's do some 2 roads, so... You know, this doesn't need to be a one-way up here. So I'm going to make... This here doesn't actually need to be a one-way, so I'll change that into a regular old road. Ta-da! And then I can use this as my area for branching out. So I'm going to have 2 roads, and I can have them both close to the middle. Different pattern here for our forestry industry. Just gonna have mirrored edges here. From an aerial view, this would look great. In reality, this is going to be a pile of smoke and smog. I think Canada is the third largest logging industry in the world, something like that. I believe it. I mean, I grew up right next to a town that actually had a pretty big forestry industry until the collapse of the price of paper demolished it. Before then, things were pretty golden. These ends can all be linked up for easy inter-road travel. Yeah, one of the big things is that the actual demand for industry probably doesn't match up with the amount of industry that I actually currently have, because a lot of the industry that I have is abandoned. Yeah. So it'll probably be a while before these areas actually fill up with industry. And I won't be building any... Oh, look at that. I still have that up there. I probably won't be building any offices, just because I have so much industry to build up right now that I probably will not have time for that. So this is a road that is leading into a one-way. So for him to get out of here, he has to go through the shipping yard, across here, into this. Kind of makes sense. I might create access, like I might destroy this, and I might create another access point here, because I think like one of the goals to having industry that actually works for you is giving them tons and tons and tons of highway access. So let's get a little bit closer here. And this will cause a pretty decently big change in how some of these operate with each other. Can't make a perfect entry here, unfortunately, so they're going to do like I almost have to do a UE to get into this zone. That's a bad curved road. And wait, what did I do here? This is the exit. Yeah, this is the entry. I put the exit on... Oops. Okay, that was a pretty big mistake on my part. That's probably why this road doesn't look that good. Oh, shoot. Oh, butterscotch. Go now. So I have ways in, shortcuts in, and now I need shortcuts out. Gotta build them bigger. There we go. And that'll very wide. I'm noticing that the wider you build your entrances and exits from each other, like I've done down here, almost works out way better. So yeah, huge support for the forestry industry. Now keep in mind, this is a a nice an area for forestry, and I do have a nice area for iron over here. So yeah, that was my plan. Just to, build a way in. Now the only downside is that it's going to severely limit the amount that I can put here, unfortunately. So I'm going to make them decently big roads too, so that traffic doesn't congest anywhere. It's probably the best I can do for that. And that's the best I can do for that. So now we have 2 highway accesses to these 2 areas. These 2 areas are directly linked to each other, which is good. I have 1 strip here that doesn't have water. That's where they settled. That 1 area that doesn't have water. Oh, keep in mind, this is the forestry industry, which means that this is a big water user. They pay a lot more taxes, which is good, but they are huge water users, abusers, if you will. So this area looks like it's filling up pretty well. As it expands southward, it should ultimately continue to do so. Did I plant some, yeah, I planted some very non-dense ones, some low-density commercial zones here. And the difference between the two is insane. Like, the high-density commercial zones would be something in reality close to, like, Walmart or Target. And you go here, it's like, big bite, it's crunch time. Local convenience store. Hey, do you want fast food? Come to Pop Soda, the Jubilee. And when you go to across the way to see if I can find them now. There we go. Over here to big areas. They don't have names on them. They're just big billboards. Go nuts. Go donuts. Oh, that's clever. $2.49 for a donut. That's got to be Euro prices, because that's insanely expensive. There's a comics thing here. Some weird chicken place. I don't know. But then you have your 3 donut shops. Because you need 3 Starbuckses, obviously. But this is not actually that all uncommon. Where I grew up, it's massively expanding. It's quickly expanding. And that in turn means that Starbucks will be doing mass onslaught of marketing there. And there's a place where there's the Target's closed now. Target Canada, of course, is dead. They've declared bankruptcy. But inside the Target, there was a Starbucks, and then down the road there was a Starbucks, and then down the road again there was a Starbucks, and you wouldn't think there was that much demand in Canada for Starbucks when we have Tim Hortons, but you would be very wrong. It's actually a very high demand. Speaking of high demand, there's a high demand for Death Collection in this particular area, so that's what I'm doing. Death Collection. So, since Woodchuckers is growing now, I'm going to destroy the lumberyard. Sad to see it go, but unfortunately, it has to go. So I'm going to dezone this. I'm going to dezone this. I have to keep questioning myself, am I dezoning this? This doesn't seem right. So everyone has to go. Goodbye. Goodbye. And, yeah, I'm going to have to look at a lot of these new areas, because a lot of these areas aren't going to have a lot of services that are kind of necessary. Like, this one has a fire department and a fire station, so that's fine, but it doesn't have any health services at all. So I can put a little hospital here. And it still has the incineration plant here, which is covering, of course, for 2 areas as well. Now, we can also build a body collection area here, and that'll further increase value. And the subway is back up and going. Yay! Coppertown is not expanding quite as fast. Now the lumberyard. To figure out what I have left over here and what has to move. So this has to actually be full on relocated. So I'll be relocating it probably into one of our new zones. Geez, do I even have space for it in here? I should. I want it to kind of connect onto a roadway which will allow it to connect into the grid directly. Like, I can put it here, but it's not in the grid just yet. How about... There we go. That'll connect us directly into the grid. Yay! Yay! Noise pollution. Now I just need to basically relocate oil country and I'll be fine. So over here we have a bus depot which has no electricity. That's unfortunate because we kind of need that service. Fire station. 2 fire stations, of course. Why not? And then we have our incinerator plant, which will be relocating across the way to over here, demolishing that little place over there. Now I'm gonna make the south. Geez, I might make this almost all commercial. So what I'll do is I'll make the full south half commercial. Yay for you guys. And then I'll make this commercial, which will act as a decent noise buffer for all this sewage place that is shrinking the land value here. And then this can all be residential. Now there will be some more noise pollution, so I should probably upgrade some of these roads using the upgrade tool. Okay, so especially with all these heavy trucks going through here. So this is what I did before, and it works all right, but not as well as what I'm doing in the south. What I'm doing in the south has a lot more space, way more space, and I think it's definitely more designed around this sort of approach. So here we go. Oh, that's weird. I have it going accidentally one way in the wrong way because there was a minor inconvenience there as far as plotting and planning goes. Seen already, since destroying this area, a lot less traffic heading in here. This will slowly clear up as people get in here. So already that's a huge improvement as far as I'm concerned. So I need to put a police station here. Of course, it'll be depowered like his friend, the fire department. And I need health services here. None of these places have power just yet. I can power these ones up pretty freely without affecting our zoning. Oh, this doesn't have power either. And this one actually will connect to a lot of services, so that's something I can keep pretty well powered up. Now, all the while, Woodchuckers is expanding fairly well. Highly educated people working here. Not so much from miners to men. It'll take a long time, I feel, for this place to properly populate, just because, once again, like, I have to really work on my residential areas. I mean, just right here is kind of a sad thing. There's a lot of people dying here. How's our actual healthcare doing here? Now, it says green, but I'm going to put another hospital in the area and cover that. In the meantime, gotta get rid of all the dead bodies. Dead bodies everywhere. Yay! I still have traffic problems here. I wonder if I can increase the size of this highway to allow for merging. There we go. So now we'll have a left turn and a right turn, so people will go into the appropriate lane, and that'll definitely help traffic flow a lot better. And over here I can do the same thing, have a... That way, you know, these guys turning right and these guys turning left can hopefully go into the same area, and then they'll all merge into that. Let's see if it works. Nope, asshole is an asshole. He went to the straight lane and then turned right because they don't know how to drive. That's rather unfortunate. Coppertown, we have to change your zone ring restrictions. Okay, so we're getting rid of that. You have to do that same thing over here in Lumberyard. And same thing over in Steel Central. It has zero effect, by the way, on anything at all. Just by the by. Oh geez, there's actually a lot of crime over here. So I'm going to put a big bad police station to hopefully eradicate these crime waves in this crime-stricken city. And hopefully this becomes a place that actually people will value. Oh god, this mega... Oh, that is such a... Yeah. Can I move this anywhere? It's a nuclear panner plant, people. Ah. Okay, if I move this, will I lose power? It's all connected, all connected. Okay, so I have to move this into an industrialized area. So we're going to move it into an oil country. Not enough money. Well, that's a new one for me, I guess. Hopefully this doesn't depower the city while I'm in the process of moving it, as I can't move it. There we go, it's moved. And yeah, the more I shrink this area here, it's going to be the better for me, because you notice like most of this place is actually pretty dead sauce, and that's because it's not getting enough raw materials, which is oil, because these are all refineries. And whoa, suddenly water is a problem. What the hell is going on here? Am I low on water suddenly? Bankruptcy alert. Oh my god, where are all this coming from? Okay, so let's pick this real quickly. That just screwed me, by the way, because oh, you know what, that momentary blip that I lost power, they took out my water, I bet. Is that the case? Something's not right. Too much of the city's actually disconnected. I'm losing too much money too fast, so why is this? All I did was move nuclear power. My energy production is 934. Oh, it's actually the lumberyard that did it. My mistake. The rest of that is connected. And went across here. That one's fine. Okay, that please fix it? I'm not asking too much here, am I? Jeez. So the only thing that was basically ruined there was the fact that okay, it's still kind of buggy. Why is there such a low pumping capacity? Pumping capacity. Yeah, I should be fine. Yeah, the reason why is because I dezoned this, and this was all electrified, and this was connecting to here, which is connecting the entire north side, which of course is the majority of my city. And now suddenly I'm at a bit of a loss as to why I'm losing so much money right now. I shouldn't be. I think this should fix relatively soon. I think. Let's see how this goes. My losses versus my gains. Yeah, it's gaining, so this is not a reflective figure of my weekly income. There we go. It's starting to circle back up. That was terrifying. By the by. Geez, so much death and destruction here. Hopefully the lumberyard will fill up with people, and it looks like Steel City already has, which is great. That's because it's a completely commercial zone that's for Tokyo Town to make use of, but yeah, that was terrifying for just a mini second there. So one last thing that I'm going to do is build up a metro network down here, just to expand our existing metro to go into here. So 15,000 for this, and then I'll need 15,000 for the other side. Actually, I want more for the other side now that I think about it. I'm going to put one here. Hopefully that's connected by this. And then I'll put one closer to the north. It's like right there. Now this is where it comes to be expensive. 100 bones per cell. So can I build my first connection? I wonder. Nope. 17,100 to build this network that, thankfully, due to the efforts of my last video, people are actually using. I have roughly 6,000 people using it, which is about 8 to 9% of my population. The most used mass transit in the world is actually located in New York City. 55% of the city use that mass transit system. When you're looking at the United States, the drop-off to the second most used system, which is in Jersey City, is something like 40%, which, Jersey City is directly across the way from New York City. You, in fact, can use Jersey City's, or New York City's public transit to get to Jersey City. That's how well connected that area of the world is. But then there's kind of a bit of a drop-off that happens after that, and that comes into where you get into Lower America, Southern America. Let's call it Southern America. Not South America, Southern United States. Where, there's this big drop-off in the number of people using public transportation. In the South, it's always like going between 3 and 4%. It's this kind of weird, wonky idea. Everyone wants mass transit, but nobody uses mass transit, and that's for mass transit creators, for makers, stuff like that. That is a huge problem. So I'm going to create 2 lines here. Oh, apparently it's outside city limits, and I also don't have enough money. I'm going to create a little bit of a turnpike here for the subway. So I'll have one that'll cover the southern part of the city and one that'll cover the northern part of the city, just so you can kind of hit those 2 major areas to make this into a major industrial area where our workers will be free to travel to work every single day. As soon as I can get the cash for this. It's very pricey to have mass transit, especially when you don't exactly know where your trains are coming from. Come on, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to have one that'll cut to here. And as soon as I have the money, I'll build that network, and then I'll build the second one using different lines. But this will be our southern network. Southern. And by southern, it means it's going to cut across this way. I'm not going to go all the way over here. That's crazy. Going all the way over to Libertytown and Steel City? No way. I'm going to go through Dumpville, Industrial Way, Tokyo Town, Copper Town. The lumber yard doesn't. I don't think the lumber yard actually has a transit system. That might be something worth investing in now that it's actually a real residential area. I mean, Steel City has one. Steel Central has one, so why not? So that'll be our first one. Take me down to Steel Central. Now, and these are some pretty urban areas that I am connecting, so it's not like I'm doing a disservice or anything of those lines. Okay, so that's one line done. And that will connect a lot more people in my city. And now for my other one. And this one will be... I don't know if I need to make the second line at all, actually. Maybe I can just use existing infrastructure. So we'll start off here with our new line. And the Aquifer Plaza. I don't know what that place is, but we'll add a stop there. The Education Express. Hong Kong Town. Some of these are going to be bigger stops than others, obviously, in the long run. And there we go, completed line. And I'm also going to do a bus route here. Can I connect a lot of these Places that could eventually become major centers, but for now are not. See, I can connect in here. So I have one that leads into the train. And then I'll have one going across the rail yards one way, madness, to connect in to complete the line. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. And Miner's Dement. We'll start in the maddening one-way area. I think I did that wrong, but it's okay. This is a bus for a route that currently has no people on it. That's how far into the future I'm thinking. Thinking about the possibility of possibilities happening. Okay, so this is going south, so I'm going to connect it in here. Oops. Did something weird there. And connects. Why is it moving the end? I just want to complete the line. That's it. So that's our mass transit lines for these industrial zones. Now, I said that I wanted to add in a stop here, and I wasn't lying. So let's get to our metro. Make this as attractive as a spot as possible. Because if this is a shopping zone, which it is, people can take the metro to get to this area. They can also use this to get to work. So, and it's not as expensive as a lot of these other ones are. Okay, so I can build a north and a south route with this as well. So just to get people to work, and it also makes a lot of these areas pretty decent. I think I'm going to do the Industrial Way Lincoln so that people can kind of get there. This is a much smaller route. Okay. And that's looking mostly excellent. And, geez, a few abandoned buildings here already. Why are they abandoning? Lack of workers, I'm betting. Not enough workers. Overeducated workers, in fact, is a problem. We have more of a demand for this kind of place. And, just because we have educated workers here. So, I need just more people. But there's currently no demand for housing in my area. Parks and Recreation is turned on. What does recreational use do? Slightly increased tax income, moderately increased tourism, slightly reduced crime rate, increases police budget by 15%. Jeez, that looks great. Why wouldn't people like... I looked at that originally and I thought like, oh, that's so stupid because I thought it was increased crime rate. But now it's like, why wouldn't I want that? So, free public transport increases the use of public transportation, no ticket income. Now, let's look at our income and see how much I'm actually sacrificing there. So, income sources, 11,000 a week. Jeez, that's actually a lot. How much does it cost me? 29,000 a week. Maybe when I get a lot more disposable income from a lot of these neighborhoods, that'll be good. But for now, that's just way too pricey. What else do we have here that might be valuable? So there's a thing called industrial space planning, and what it does is increases the industrial demand. And I'm not going to put it in all my industries because honestly, not a lot of them need bit. But I will put it in minor to met. So I'll put industrial space planning here, which will increase demand, and probably woodchuckers as well. Because there's no real downside to this if you read it, except for higher upkeep of industrial buildings, but doubles the amount of goods produced, so that's good. Especially it'll make these areas highly, highly profitable, which will make better use of the infrastructure, which is actually being used mostly by commercial people right now, but still, I foresee this being a big area in the future. I just need my population to expand, and that's going to mean probably a lot of new services. People will leave areas of the city that are worse off and will go to areas of the city that are better off. And by adding in this pot marijuana smoking one, it's actually increased the demand all across the city for more people. I have a feeling there will be a downside eventually. I feel like eventually people will, there will be a lot of problems with pot and industries. That sounds like a nice generic concern, but for now, great. So I think I'm going to end here, and secretly, I'm just going to spend the next hour of my life upgrading these streets to do this. And when you next see this place, it might be a little bit bigger than what you last saw it, because I've just been doing this, just increasing land value around a lot of these areas by upgrading the road type to a different kind. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.